Opioids, and I've been clean for the last 7.5 months. So my childhood was cool. Like my mom, she took care of everything. She made sure everything was good. Single child, single mom, only child. So my mom take care of like everything, all the responsibilities. She did it. So my childhood was cool, but I didn't grow up around a lot of black people. So like I was really raised in the suburbs. My mom didn't want me around that negative environment, negative crowds, and she didn't know it came in every way. So once I was in elementary school, I didn't wasn't around like people my color. So I went to a predominantly black school in the hood. So I started going to school in the hood because I went to church in the hood. So my mom knew a lot of people at that church. So I would go to church in the hood. I would go to school in the hood, see a lot of violence, see a lot of people getting killed, see a lot of drugs, see a lot of money. And the lady my mom used to send me to, her baby daddy was a real rich dope dealer. So like every time I'd be over there in the morning, he'll give me a bunch of money for food and lunch. You know what I'm saying? Make sure I'm good. And as I got older, like I idolized that. Like I'm like, damn, he got all this money to just give it away. He pulling up with fly ass cars, chains. He's dope. Like this is who I want to be like when I grow up. So I started following his path, started selling drugs. Once I started getting to middle school, that's when I started selling a lot of weed, you know what I'm saying? A lot of weed and a lot of stuff to my buddies because my neighbor wasn't plugged. So I'm like, I can get it from my neighbor for basically free, and I'm selling it to y'all. I'm getting a little bit of cut out of it too, so I'm having fun. I'm in middle school, like I'm making like $800 a week in middle school. Like I'm middle school, like what to any middle schooler I'm up. Like what I'm spending that on video games, I'm good. Like you know what I'm saying I'm good. So that was my life up to middle school. And then I started smoking weed myself. Before then, I wasn't into drugs or doing anything. I always was taught you don't get high on your own supply. You know what I'm saying? That's something you don't do. But then once I see the other cats, the other people before me doing it, I'm like, oh, so you can do it. So I started smoking a bunch of weed. You know what I'm saying? Started popping pills. This was my eighth grade year. I got introduced to Xanax. I was on ADHD medicine. The doctor had prescribed me Adderall, and Adderall was terrible for me. So she's like, okay, let's try Xanax, see if this calms you down. So I got addicted to those, and that was my life. So up to eighth grade to junior year, I got into a lot of trouble. Got put on probation, was fighting a lot. So I was not allowed to get high or anything. So I was still getting high, but I didn't care about what the PO said. Cause I didn't think they'll violate me. I didn't think I'd get in trouble. So I kept doing it, kept getting high, and then one day the PO I called me in. It was like, you're violated. You gotta go to juvie for a couple of weeks. I'm like, damn. And I just kept doing it. Kept going through the same cycle. Kept getting high, going back. Kept getting high, going back. And I realized I wasn't it. Like that's stupid. Like I'm done getting high because I was tired of going to juvie. Like I'm trying to have fun with my friends. I keep getting in trouble going to juvie and doing these camps. That's not fun. So I just said, fuck it, I'm done. I just got back to just strictly selling. And then the wax pens came around, and I was like my junior, senior year. The wax pens came around. It was like, bro, you can smoke weed without having to smell like weed, and without people knowing you smoke weed. I'm like, oh snap, give me one of these. So I got on the nose, and after that, I just started smoking crazy again. And that's when I got addicted to opioids. My buddy had put me on. He was like, bro, I got these perks. I'm saying they hit different. I'm like, shit, fuck this. He like, he's way better than Xanax. I'm like, okay, let's do it. So boom, we get on that. From there, it was just stuck. I was just on that addiction, just stuck under that drug because it held me so much comfort. Being given through what I've been through as a child. Molestation and seeing violence and seeing murder. You go through a lot, so you gotta cope with that pain a certain way, and that was my only way to cope was getting high for so long, and I didn't realize it until I got older. First time when I first caught the case, I was in juvie for like a year and 6 months, so I was like I was kicking bad, cause I was like popping hella Xanax, and I didn't realize how because I always had money, you know what I'm saying, so I never realized what the withdrawal felt like. So once I went to juvie, ooh man, I was feeling sick. My stomach was hurting. Like it was the worst withdrawals ever. Then when I kept getting violated, I wasn't tapering that. So I'd be sick. Every time I go in there, I'd be sick to my stomach. Like they don't care in there. They're not gonna give you anything. Like they don't care. I'll say who I was surrounding myself with. I was surrounding myself with a lot of clowns. And we don't realize it. I didn't realize it in high school they were clowns. You know what I'm saying? I didn't realize it. I realized they was goofy, but I didn't realize how goofy they were until you get older, and then it's like, damn, y'all still in the same place doing the same thing. It's just a different year, same schedule. It's sad. It's a sad life to live, and I couldn't live like that. That's why I had to move. Oh yeah, for sure. I did the carts because it was just so convenient. It was like I don't gotta wake up and roll up. I don't gotta do no rolling up. All I gotta do is get this pen, hit it, and I'm geeked. Like hit it a couple times and I'm good. So yeah, I was definitely addicted to them. Yeah, I got on the stizzies. Yep, I was on the stizzies and the brass knuckles, and then yeah, I was on those for a while, bro. And then yeah, the first time I remember this, the first time I ever got high of a pen, bro, I was seeing colors. I thought I was about to die. Like, bro, it just felt it was crazier than smoking weed for the first time. Like, I was just like, whoa. And I was in a relationship, like a real long relationship, before I went to college. We went to the same school together or whatever. And I was getting high too much. Like, I was getting way too high, bro. Like all the time, I'd be geeked up, like every moment. And then I started sipping lean, so I was even more geeked up. Like I was just high all the time. And it just started fucking with my school. Like luckily I graduated, but I didn't do none of my work. Like that was all of my ex and my mom helping me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't have it in me because I was so busy getting high. But like I was so smart and they always saw the potential in me, but I didn't see it in myself. You know what I'm saying? I just saw the drugs. So it definitely fucked me up financially, emotionally, and mentally because I lost a lot of relationships, a lot of good friends. I ruined a lot of relationships with my family, my mom's, those like relationships that I really cherished. I lost them, because of a drug and of a feeling. And so it really put me in like a deep, dark depression, especially when I started getting sober, because I started to realize like, damn, what all the bad I've done, like all the people I've hurt, all the bridges I gotta rebuild. You know what I'm saying? It's overwhelming sometimes. I say my rock bottom is probably like last year when I lost everything. Like all I had to my name, all I had left was a car and an apartment. Like my money was gone. You feel me? I fucked up all of my bread, all of it. So I'm like, that was my lowest. Like I've been through lows mentally, but that was probably like my lowest of like just how I've been feeling. Because I was doing so good, and everything just failed. So it was like I went to a real low spot. I get the coping skills. I think that's really important. The coping skills and the stuff you need to work on in here. I feel like in programs they give you outlets and certain things to put your energy in to work through those obstacles that you have going on. So that's what I get out of treatment. Like I get out the ability to learn more. It's just like going to school, learning more about yourself or learning more about the tasks that you want to solve. So I'm trying to compete. I'm trying to get off addiction. So this right here helps me, gives me the groundwork so I can go and build the pyramid after that. But I was addicted to guns. So I guess you can count that as an addiction. So I was addicted to guns growing up. And I wanted to get this gun from I thought it was my homie, and shit funny. So they pull up to my crib. Because I'm thinking this is the homie, like, this is cool. Like, I'm finna get the gun and go about my day. So I'm not worried about it because I know this dude. Like, I'm like, all right, I know you, bro. I don't expect nothing of it. So we end up linking. They taking forever. So I'm thinking, in my stomach, I'm like thinking something fishy going on, but I really don't see nothing fishy going on. So they pull up 4 deep. And that's when I knew, like, okay, this is weird. Why are there so many damn people so I could just get a damn gun? So they pull up 4 deep. We ended up smoking. So we smoking in the car. We hotboxing, yada yada yada, talking and shit, talking whatever. They left. They're like, we gonna get some gas. We'll come right back. I'm like, all right, bet. So they come back, pull back up. I'm like, I got the bread. Let me get you feel me? Let me just go about my day. So I bring my bag out. You know what I'm saying? They're like, nah, just hop in the whip. And then I'm like, hop in the whip. Nah, I don't want to do that. It's 4 of y'all. It's one of me. So it was. I ended up hopping in the whip. It was 2 in the back and it was 2 in the front. Pause. So I'm in the middle, and the dude on my right, the dude on my left, the homie that I know is on my left. The dude I don't know the rest of them. So they pull out guns on me. I'm like, damn, you my own man. You gonna do me like this, bro? Like that's how we getting down. I'm like, you my own man. Like that's what's up, And he didn't give a fuck, But they still had their guns on me. They ended up robbing me out of like $800 on Cash App. I'm saying, took my phone, but I was cool. Like I was like, whatever, like y'all can have it, Live and you learn, because I know karma's a motherfucker, and karma already done struck down. So I don't really hold grudges, bro. I just let God do what He do. I feel like that whenever I'm not high on opioids, like I feel like I'm happy. If I just smoke some weed and live my regular life, I'm happy. I don't need to overindulge in certain things because I know where that brings me. I know the pain and agony it brought me. So I just try to stay happy every day. I wake up, bro. I'm happy because somebody not planning my funeral, and I know somebody somewhere is planning a funeral someday today. So it's just a blessing to be here today, and it's a blessing to be alive because you gotta take those. You can't take them for granted. I feel like a lot of times in our addiction we take them for granted for sure. Especially with me, I didn't care if I died, if I overdosed. Oh well. But that's not the type of life to live. That's not what you want to get out of life. You want to actually have something like a family and something to show for it. Well, my best advice was for me that I gave myself was just do it. No matter how the fear is crazy for sure. Like I get nervous all the time, but what is that nervous gonna bring me if it's not doing anything well in my life? Like if I'm not getting something out of it, I'm just wasting my time. I don't want nobody to waste their time if they don't love it. If you love sitting on the couch and you love being bored all day and you don't want to do nothing, that's you. But if you want to do something and you're struggling, just get out of that mindset. Call somebody. All it takes is a phone call. You call a program, you call some people, they're gonna be on it like wine on rice. So just surrender. That's what this says in the program, to surrender. And you gotta have the ability to surrender and just accept life for what it is, and that's it.